Greetings, fellow Narwhal Blasts. Tiki here.
And Jacob Wile too.
And welcome to another thrilling double edition of Tiki's Universe, the show where we recap and respond to all things in the world of current animated programming, including Steven Universe, of course, Star vs. Swords of Evil, hopefully pretty soon, Milo Murphy's Law, and then, of course, Jacob, we've got a whole slew of stuff coming up. I'm sorry, not Kim Possible, from the creators of Kim Possible, Big Hero 6. We got Tangled, and of course we got DuckTales, a woohoo,
and Samurai Jack.
And Samurai Jack. Oh my god, Jacob, we are just setting so many. It'll be busy, man. It'll be busy. That's all I have to say. But you know what? We love talking about cartoons. We love theorizing. We love breaking down the episodes, kind of ranking the episodes, like talking about the characters, the dynamics, all that good stuff. Star vs. Force of Evil, of course, a very good show to do that with. And Jacob, I think it's safe to say that throughout season 2, man, this show is definitely gone on from kind of like the cult thing it was in season 1 to, I would say the show is definitely like a mainstay of Disney XD right now. I would say the show is pretty damn popular.
Pretty damn, I'd agree.
It's pretty good. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. What can we say? It's like we latched on to the characters mostly in season 1, but I think what season 2 has done a really good job of, not that there wasn't some of this in season 1, but season 2 has really upped the game in terms of continuity and, the stakes and whatnot. So really looking forward to seeing how they go about the show in the future, what the rest of season 2 is going to look like. Of course, it's already been renewed for season 3 before season 2 even started airing. So we've got that good to go. So Jacob, let's start it off. Let's talk about episode 19 of season 2, episodes 19A and B. We're talking about Heinous, which is definitely the kind of the meat of the conversation here, folks. We'll definitely be breaking down that episode a little bit more because it's got a bit more story relevance to it. And then, Jacob, can you believe after all our pessimism and just booing and whatnot, all belts are off actually turned out to be a pretty decent Sensei episode.
And yeah, seriously, I mean, if you watched one of our last ones, we weren't very optimistic about all belts are off.
As soon as I saw that come up in the Wikipedia, I was just like, nope, filler. And I mean, yes, I think all 3 of the Sensei episodes this season have, to varying degrees, been filler. I definitely think All Belts Are Off is by far the strongest of the 3 out of Red Belt, Trickstar, and that's definitely the strongest. But Jacob, before we get into All Belts Are Off, let's talk about the very interesting and complex world building going on within the Heinous episode. Yeah, how do you want to break this down?
Definitely interesting. I mean, for someone who wanted to annihilate them, she just seems like annihilate people. She just seems just okay with issuing an apology.
I mean, yeah, very. It's kind of funny. She's kind of like Drax. You know what I mean? Where it's especially at the finale of the episode where Marco just issues the very insincere apology.
It's a sarcastic apology.
And she's just like, oh yes, that'll do very nicely. Thank you, Princess Mako.
Still believes she's a princess.
Okay, I love that. I love how no one ever questions it. I love
even
how
his parents never. No one, not even his parents, because why is she calling you princess? Nope, they just roll with it.
That's kind of one of the things I love about this episode in general is just that it's just really fun. Jacob, I think we need to discuss the meat of this episode, which is the world building. The fact that, holy crap, not Star. I mean, Star is definitely a celebrity princess in her own way, for sure. But Marco, man. Marco, there is so much story stuff going on with Marco right now.
At least this episode explains where he gets all his money from.
Oh man, yeah, right. I get a check for $6,000 in royalties every month.
I get a $650 check for royalties every month.
Yeah.
So that explains where he gets all the money.
So Princess Star, or Princess Marco, I should say, has action figures. Jacob, to quote Hercules, I'm an action figure.
Wait.
You see what I did there? I crossed over a Disney show with another Disney show. Anyways, no, but seriously, beyond just the action figure thing, I think it's a really cool idea that just within the context of one episode of the series, it changed the universe. You know what I mean? It changed the whole political system and hierarchy and whatnot. And now all these princesses are radicalized. And oh man, that is definitely the biggest takeaway of the episode for me. Go ahead.
All the way back from the original St. Olga's episode too.
Yeah, yeah. I love that, and I love that about this show.
Marco is the original rebel princess.
Oh God! Oh God!
Remember, they called some of those monsters called Star the Rebel Princess. Like Marco is a rebel princess first.
Yeah, and let me just address. You know, Jacob, you guys have given me a lot of shit over the past couple of years for Katniss Everdeen comparisons, but I think the Katniss Everdeen comparison here I'm going to give in a very positive way, because I think this episode was a really interesting and slightly more comical take on the ideology of what the Hunger Games was trying to present with like the one figure, you know what I mean? The one figurehead of the revolution, and also especially kind of like the villain trying to use that figure in media. I don't know. That's a very Hunger Games-esque thing. Hunger Games had a lot of media manipulation. So I don't know, you know, it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, in terms of Jyn Erso, even though she didn't really end up being a Katniss type character, yeah, that was more of a kind of like a stereotype I was lopping onto her. But in terms of this, I definitely think, oddly enough, Marco frickin' Diaz, Princess Marco, is a good Katniss Everdeen style character. So, yeah, I can't believe I would be saying that. Anyways, Dragon, I'm sorry, Jacob, do you want to talk about Heinous herself, because she's such a great villain?
She's definitely gone to, I mean, not the episode or anything, but she herself has gone downhill in a way.
Oh man, and this is my favorite type of villain, Jacob, where it kind of reminds me of like Norrington from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, where in the first episode Norrington is just kind of in a position of power. He's just this asshole in the British Navy who's out to get our pirate heroes. And then there's a second film, he's like this disgraced alcoholic mess of a man who's like trying to redeem himself and willing to backstab anyone. And I get the same sort of vibe from Heinous in this episode.
Not a bad comparison to make.
I don't know. I sometimes I think I'm like the only person who loves Norrington's arc in the Pirates movies. I sometimes I feel crazy like that. That's like the main reason I love Pirates 2 and all defends Pirates 2. But I don't want to talk about pirates. I'm just
No, I agree.
I've always had a soft spot for Norrington. But anyways, yeah.
He's more sympathetic than Miss Heinous is.
Oh yeah, definitely, without a doubt. But no, but Heinous is a very fun character and a really interesting kind of a dynamic villain. And you know, she does have an air of sympathy to her, Jacob, because you know, she is a very disgraced character coming into season 2. So, well, of course we did see a lot of her crimes being committed throughout season 1, and a lot of her, the regimen that she put the princesses under. I don't know. I think it's interesting. Can we talk about the car?
Oh yeah. Talk about the car.
Where the hell did that just bugged me right away. As soon as the episode started, I was just like, what the fuck? Like, when have we ever seen an interdimensional car that looks exactly like an Earth vehicle in this series? Like, this isn't Rick and Morty. You know what I mean? This isn't like a Back to the Future parody. I'm just like, what is going on here? I don't know. What do you think about that, Jacob? I think there's some significance to that.
I don't know. I just thought she like probably stole it or something.
All right, it's just crazy. It's just crazy that she lives out of a car, out of an Earth car that she somehow modified or something. Is my guess
I mean, I
modified
mean,
to?
we haven't necessarily seen these other dimensions using cars. Maybe there's other dimensions that actually do have Earth-like cars.
I mean, I guess so. Yeah, but
Because
so
remember,
far, this is definitely the first one we've seen.
technically it does fly. So
I don't know. Like, my theory on it right now is that she just kind of hijacked a regular Earth car and just gave it magic powers. That's my theory on it.
I so that's what I'm thinking. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't really that important to explain.
I don't know. It's just like a really interesting, like, oh, shoot, I haven't seen that on the show before. Like, okay, hello, car coming out of the sky. Anyways.
But yeah, she definitely is interesting. Plus, we get the hint of the cheeks on her cheeks yet again.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Of the potential ties to the butterfly family.
Also, Jacob, I think this is the most screen time that the Diaz, Mr. and Mrs. Diaz, have ever had in a single episode.
Most likely.
And I applaud it for that. And I actually really like the fact that they address in plot the fact that Mr. and Mrs. Diaz haven't really been around and, you know, are kind of off to the side characters. And hopefully this episode is kind of like in a meta sort of way saying like, yeah, you know, maybe we'll include these guys more. These are really pleasant characters.
Maybe. Hopefully. They are pretty interesting characters.
You and I have always vouched for Mr. and Mrs. Diaz.
Especially since Hungry to Larry.
Yeah, exactly. Hungry Larry. Yeah, that was a good one. I also like Family Vacation as well. That's a fun episode.
Yeah, besides, I mean, that one probably did have more of them in it. I mean, probably this and that one.
Anyways, so I guess the only other major thing to talk about, Jacob, is, oh boy, Miss Heinous's lizard love. Oh boy, it is creepy as hell and also very foreshadowing of Toffee and gets me excited and yada yada yada.
I wonder if that I want like the whole like he's a lizard so he'll grow back entirely Toffee hint. I was like when I paused the video and said that's totally a hint at Toffee.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's totally meant to be for sure. Jacob, I'm still worried that we're just gonna like sit on that Toffee cliffhanger for episode after episode after episode until we get to the finale.
Well, I'm sure it'll be a bang-up finale. That's for sure.
I'm sure it will be, but I don't think we're gonna see anything with Ludo until like at least like part 1 of the finale. You know what I mean? Like the first episode to air on next Monday.
And this raises an interesting question. I mean, could Miss Heinous actually be like Queen Eclipsa or something?
Ooh, I never really thought about that.
Or be the descendant of Queen Eclipsa.
You know what? I like with Miss Heinous, I always just kind of like with her storyline this season, and especially like going into the future, I think she's going to team up with Ludo, perhaps. But yeah, I never even thought about the Eclipsus thing. Oh man,
I mean, technically the entire butterfly line is a descendant of Queen Eclipsa.
Well, that's true. That's true. Oh, Jacob, this episode is just like. There's so many different pieces on the board right now for this series. You know, it's all really easy to follow. I like it a lot.
I mean, she has the monster. She has the whole monster love thing.
Monster love. Oh my god, that is true. Yeah, very much so.
And though they don't actually, that can't be true. They don't have the same marks on their cheeks. They're definitely. So I don't know. I mean, she definitely has ties to the butterfly family, that's for sure. Because unless other female humans have that.
Mm-hmm. Well, interesting theory. We'll definitely have to look into it. I think the monster love in itself is a good kind of a hint, and at least they're trying to maybe do a little bit of a mirror image to Eclipsa, or at least a call to Eclipsa. You know what I mean? Sort of a reminder of that sort of thing.
Then how does Toffee fit into all this?
Who knows? That's the question of the whole season, right? Toffee, okay, for any Mr. Robot fans out there, Toffee has been the Tyrell Wellick of Star versus the Forces of Evil. Just hands down. I'm sorry, Jacob. I don't know if you know who the hell Tyrell Wellick is, but anyone who watches Mr. Robot will understand.
Nope.
It's just like they keep us guessing and they keep they keep teasing it, and we should be pissed off, but God, it's also intriguing.
Definitely keep building him up with all these hints.
Yep. Okay, that's mostly all I have to say about Heinous, Jacob. Anything else you want to throw in?
Definitely. No, the thing. I don't know. We pretty much covered everything. Like, I mean, the apology. I mean, I think we pretty much covered everything important in this episode. That
I definitely think Star is developing more feelings for Marco. We kind of saw that with her conversation with him. Before
I didn't notice that. I didn't notice that in this episode. I mean, refresh my memory.
Well, it's just more so, and just kind of like, not even necessarily like a, like a physical attraction per se. Just like, oh, I'm really proud of how you've inspired people, and I don't know. I think there was some Starco. There were some sparks flying, Jacob. I don't know. Don't count out the Starco power.
Like I said, trust me, I ship it hard, but
okay. So
trust me, I ship it like FedEx.
God,
but
I ship it like Amazon Prime. Yeah,
even better. I ship it like Amazon Prime.
Okay, so speaking of Amazon Prime,
I ship it like that, but I just didn't see it in this episode. Maybe I just thought it was more like a friendly thing in this case.
Fair enough. But speaking of Amazon Prime, Jacob, if we're going to compare Sensei episodes to shipping services, then all belts are off is the Amazon Prime of Sensei-centric episodes. Oh man, was that a transition or was that a transition?
It was something, all right.
Oh God. Okay. So this episode wasn't great. It wasn't a big game changer, or even like a really fun Ponyhead episode or a fun Glossaric episode or anything like that. I'd probably put it towards the middle of the season overall, but it's not bad. I definitely say it's way above Red Belt and Trickstar.
Like I said, I was actually pleasantly surprised by how fun the episode was.
Mm-hmm. Especially because it takes such a seemingly tired concept of like, oh, Marco and Jeremy are competing for the gee.
Technically, the description was kind of misleading.
I guess so, yeah. Because
in a way,
Marco's really not well, I guess it's not really too misleading. I don't know. The thing that this episode gets right for sure is the Marco and Sensei dynamic, and I think going forward, that's going to be something I'm going to be looking for. I definitely think that at this point they've kind of nailed it. It's like even in the episodes that we haven't really liked, like the Trickstars and the Red Belts, I still think they've done a good job of building Sensei up as kind of like this sympathetic man-child sort of character who kind of needs Marco to mentor him as much as Marco needs Sensei to mentor Marco. And for that reason, I think this episode comes to a very satisfying conclusion for both the characters.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree that plus everybody seems to realize how much of a jerk Jeremy is at the end.
That is such a satisfying scene, is it not?
It's like, man, what a jerk. I'm here on my anniversary? Yeah.
Okay, I think that guy's got some issues, but whatnot.
Definitely. Like I said, that is just like everybody started almost I think they're about ready to boo him at that point.
Oh yeah. And Jeremy, man, they really rub it in. I mean, it seems like the whole Preston fucking Change-O thing didn't really change him. Because they really rub it in how much of a jerk Jeremy is in this episode. Just, my God. The one bit I probably could have done without is like him in the locker room and the butler like toweling him, and I'm just like, I don't need to see that. But yeah, then we have the bit where Marco's recording him with the $100 bill. You want to get into that?
Yeah, this guy on a scooter apparently likes to buy vinyls.
Do you know how many vinyls I could buy with $100 bill? 3, which is pretty accurate. That sounds about right. It's like $30 plus tax.
But then they had this like gunk or like ice, but I don't know what it was. That was on top of the ice cream.
It looks like dog crap mixed with ice cream.
I have no idea.
I mean, it definitely has a smell to it.
It's colorful.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that. Like, I do think the episode goes out of its way. Like I said, it's like Jeremy is for sure. He is not a redeemable character whatsoever.
So they might as well take advantage of the fact to make a bacon that be as much of a jerk as possible.
And I guess the one, like, the episode kind of tries to write away the whole issue of like why Sensei didn't tell Marco that, hey, Jeremy's loaded, man. I kind of have to pick him. It's like, they explain it away like, where just Sensei just has poor people skills and
openly admits, I shouldn't run a business. I really shouldn't run a business.
I really shouldn't be running a business, bro.
At least he openly says that. I really shouldn't be running a business.
Right. Because basically the dojo is just getting by, just skirting by on generous donations from Jeremy's family.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, this episode, I really don't have a ton to say about it other than, it does a good job of building up Jeremy as a totally unlikable brat, and then it's kind of a cathartic ending where the crowd just really turns on him, and we're just like, yeah, finally. And then it also does, I think it does a good job, actually, of kind of tying up all the Sensei stuff from the 3 main Sensei episodes we've seen this season into a satisfying conclusion, I think. If this is the last time we see Sensei in this season in a major role, I'm totally fine with that. And
the Sensei trilogy ended nicely.
Yeah, it did. It really did. I think it really did wrap up. And I think in season 3 they can explore Marco and Sensei being pals, and Marco being Sensei's friendship Sensei, in a little bit more detail. And then I guess the one other thing. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was actually gonna say, and Star's brief appearance was actually pretty funny.
Yeah,
I get it. You're a creep.
Right. Let's see. There was one other thing I wanted to address. Oh yeah, Okay, first of all, props to realism when they're watching the VHS tape at the beginning and the track skipping. That is some of the more realistic skipping I've seen on like a faux VHS type animation. It's really good. And then the actual guy ends up being, just like he literally falls asleep during Jeremy's performance and just approves the dojo because he probably approves every dojo. He probably just gets paid to make an appearance. I don't know.
Yeah, that's funny. Like, even like the Grandmaster didn't like Jeremy's stuff. He's like, I wasn't even done yet. Yeah, but he's like, I've seen enough.
I will admit though, him like punching the seal of approval into the wall is pretty badass.
Admittedly,
that is a pretty nice touch.
Not everybody can punch small words into a wall.
Right. The detail on his knuckles must be really intricate.
Indeed.
Anyways, one other brief thing I want to bring up, Jacob, and I don't know if you'll buy me on this or not, but of course, one of the things we've been looking for is after the fantastic Running with Scissors episode where we saw Marco like age 16 years and go on all those epic adventures and get all that training and everything. We saw Marco do a very, very impressive karate routine in front of Sensei. Like it was nothing. And, it's like, look, we know Marco's good at karate, but man, I must say, Jacob, it's like, he kicks like 3 boards and, like he's really refined himself. And even if this isn't a result of the whole Running with Scissors, like time parallel paradox thing, I just got to give credit to Marco for really refining his karate. I think he's really come a long way since season 1 in terms of that. And I think it's kind of satisfying to see Marco so refined with that. So that's all I want to say.
That is pretty impressive. And plus, at the end, they finally become taco buddies.
Yeah.
like, you haven't texted me. Then whose number is this?
Whose number is this? Yeah, that's probably the gag of the episode.
Like, whose number? He's been texting a random person, do you want tacos this entire time?
Oh, and speaking of me being dumb, I had the Miss Heinous thing up the entire time, and I didn't have that. Wow, I'm dumb, Jacob. I'm dumb.
It's fine, Tiki.
Hey, Squidward, it's like we forgot to switch the close sign to open.
We could
It's
have
like
taken
we could have taken the
the
whole
whole.
day off.
Ha.
Anyways, Jacob, any final thoughts about All Belts Are Off?
No, like I said, it's not a groundbreaking episode as you've said before, but as far as like middle of the road episodes go, this is actually a very fun episode. I'm surprised by. I said, based on its premise, I was surprised how fun of an episode it was.
Cool. Okay, so folks, we'll be back, I think, probably either Thursday or Friday to talk about Collateral Damage and Just Friends, episode 20A and 20B of Starverse Force of Evil Season 2. Collateral Damage is after Star destroys the statue of Echo Creek's high school mascot, she must find a way to cheer up the students again. It sounds like an interesting episode, sounds kind of fun, but not really the most plot-heavy again. Just Friends, I'm a little bit more interested in because it's definitely going to get into like some Starco and and Jackie stuff. Star, Marco, and Jackie attend a love sentence concert where Star aims to prevent Jackie from feeling left out, which is really interesting. I think that's definitely going to be the thing that kind of separates Marco and Jackie is Star for sure, is how close the two of them are. So really interested in seeing that. That'll probably be a good kind of continuation of the arc we saw in Bomb the Birthday Clown. Ugh. And then the final two episodes, Face the Music and Star Crushed, will air next Monday, February 27th. Can't wait, Jacob.
Heck yeah.
Okay, so until next time, folks, stay tuned until things get a little weird and a little wild. Yet again.
Taco Buddy.